Welcome back to the old Jarhead, folks, where today I've got a new power station to play with, to test, to try to beat up, to destroy. No, I'm not going to destroy it. But I've got a Dabbsson DBS2100 Pro. And frankly, when I first saw the specs on this power station, I have to admit, I was pretty impressed. For the price, which I'll pop up right here, I got to tell you, it has a lot of capability. It is a 2150 watt-hour battery with a 2400 watt inverter that they say can peak at 4800 watts. It's got P-boost technology, which allows it to put out more wattage than it's rated at if necessary. And my first test on this was to kind of test that theory out because it has a 30 amp plug on the side of it. I just put a brand new air conditioner in my camper and I thought 30 amp plug, I can plug my camper directly into this. Let's see what happens. So I plugged in the 30 amp plug to my camper, turned everything on, and then turned my air conditioning down a little bit so that it would come on. And guess what? It came on just fine. Not only did it come on just fine, but it continued to run it for a while. It said it would run it for about 1.4 hours, but that was after I also turned the refrigerator from propane to AC. And it was drawing over 1300 watts at the same time as running air conditioning and the refrigerator together simultaneously. No problem at all. Now, I didn't run it a long time because I'm going to use my solar decimator, I think is what somebody called it once. That's my ceramic heater. I'm going to plug my ceramic heater into this and find out what the capacity is before we continue doing a whole lot of testing and discussion. But I do want to say that the DBS2100 Pro by Dabbsson has a lot of neat features. For one, it can take 1200 watts of solar. Well, that's awesome, folks. That is really awesome. In a 2000 plus watt hour power station, 1200 watts of solar is quite a bit. Now you can also parallel two of these units together to get more output. You can add a couple extra external batteries, theirs of course, and I haven't tested that port just yet, folks. You know, if you've watched my channel, I like to do that. So what we're going to do today is we're going to first draw this down, right down to 0. Then we're going to charge it back up. Now, when charging it back up, the manual says it can take 1800 watts of AC input charge. Well, I'd have to put that on my 20 amp circuit to do that. And I'm just going to use a 15 amp so I can adjust that using their app, which I found pretty easy to use. And since I already had the app on my phone for my Dabbsson 600L, which is now my little go-to unit, I already had the app. All I had to do was add this in the app. It was very simple, very easy to do, very quick. And then I was able to go in and adjust the AC input charge. The other thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to take a 51.2 volt golf cart battery and plug it into the solar input and see how much power we get there as well. Let's draw this thing down and get it down to 0 and see what kind of capacity it has. It is kind of heavy, and that's something that I have to pay attention to because frankly, I can't lift that much weight typically. Bad back and all. All right, we've got my little heater here, which I like to use to beat up power stations. I'm going to plug it into a watt meter so that we can see what it's doing. I'm going to crank this all the way up. Get some heat going. I'll turn it away from the unit. No sense in getting the unit heated up. And let's see what happens. Okay, I can feel the heat coming off it already. Power usage is climbing up very quickly, folks. So we're going to go ahead and run this thing wide open. I'm now in the app. It shows me 98%, 77 degrees. Output is 1132 watts. You can see the input is at 0. While I'm at it, I can turn the light on to show you what the light looks like. I guess I could turn it on and go to the brighter mode. Pretty good light. Now let's check and see what the voltage is showing. 119.1, so that's pretty normal. So we'll let that run for a while, see how it goes. And I've moved the heater down to the floor just to get the heat away from the unit. All right, while the unit runs down and I try to abuse it, I thought I would go through some of the things you get with the unit when you buy it. Along with the unit, you not only get a heavy-duty charging cable, but you also get an XT60 to MC4 cable. And you know me, I'm always complaining about cable lengths if they're too short. Some power station companies give you a cable that frankly just isn't long enough. This one is about 6.5 feet long. So with 6.5 feet of cable, that's kind of nice because, you know, when you get a little short cable, it's really a pain to hook up solar panels to it. You also get a little car charging cable with an XT60, so you can plug this into your car, get 126 watts of charging. Pretty normal. I would say that it would be good to have a DC to DC charger, you know, something that can put out 500 watts or more off of your alternator. 4 hours of driving, you're going to charge it back up from almost zero. So something to consider. While this thing is draining down, I will say that it's got a good set of handles on it. I like that. I think that's kind of similar to some of the other manufacturers, but how many different ways can you create handles? This one has 2 sturdy grips or handles on it that you can easily pick it up with, so that's kind of nice. All right, folks, we're down to 7%. We've got about, I don't know, 5 or 6 or 7 minutes before this unit hits 0 and dies on us. We've used over 1.8 kilowatt hours of power. Now it's 2150 watt hours, so we'll do some math on actual percentage that we got out of it. And then once we get it totally drained down, we'll start charging it back up and see how that goes. Now, while we're waiting for the unit to die on us, I wanted to tell you that right now there's a brand sale deal going on at, frankly, an incredible $759 price tag. I could only find it using my link. Be sure to use the link in the description down below. It does have a 5-year warranty. Apparently you have to buy it to get the last 2 or 3 years. So that's something else to pay attention to. 4,500 cycles to 80%. That is amazing, folks. That is a long, long life. And you can pretty much power darn near anything you want with it. And if you parallel 2 of these units and have a bunch of extra batteries, it's going to provide a whole lot of extra backup power. So even though as a portable power station, you know, it's a 50 plus pound, 2150 watt hour power station, and you could take this anywhere you want, take it out to your cabin in the woods and run a table saw off of it. I mean, it'll do it. You can also use it for a small home backup system. Uh-oh. I just heard it shut down, folks. 0%. Bingo. There we are. We'll find out how much power we actually got once I plug it back in and charge it up. Okay, here we go. Input 500 watts. Let's change that because that is the default. Oh, it does say 1,000, so we're going to go ahead and crank that up to 1,500 watts. Okay, we got 1.934 kilowatt hours or 1,934 watt hours out of this unit in an hour and 40 minutes. Let's do the math. 1934 divided by 2150 equals 89. Wow. 89.9% is what I got out of this. Folks, that's almost 90% efficiency. I've never seen that in a power station. Usually they run about 85%. So to have this one run at 89.9, that's incredible. I mean, I'm impressed. Now, we've got it charging up. We've got some power going into it. It's up to 1,500 watts, so that's crazy. But can we plug in solar and increase that and really ramp it up? Now, I don't know how well it's going to do that. Let's hook it up. Let's hope we don't let any smoke out. Okay, let's see what we get here, folks. So what I'm seeing right now is 1,000 watts of AC charging. Actually, it dropped down to 675, and it is ramping up solar. So that means that it's putting the priority on the solar side, not the AC side. It is still limiting it to 1,500 watts. But what if I made a change here? We will go to charge. I'm going to ramp this up to 2100 and see what happens, folks. This could be interesting. Let's see what we get now. Well, we're at 1700. Look at this, 1800 watts, folks. So we're getting 1800 watts total charging. That's 1200 watts of solar, which is actually coming off of a big golf cart battery. And we're getting 600 watts of AC. Now, I actually like this because what that means is that the unit is prioritizing the solar input over the AC side. Okay, I tested something real quick. I shut off my battery and I wanted to see what would happen with the charging rate, and it jumped up to 1800 watts coming off AC. So let's talk about this unit a little bit. $759. You get 3 120 volt AC plugs on the side, a 30 amp plug on the side, and a parallel port on this side. so that you can parallel two of these DBS2100 Pros together. But then you also have two expansion battery ports on the other side that you can actually put in enough battery power to take this unit up, and I suspect with paralleling another unit, to 12.9 kilowatt hours. That's a lot of power. I like the fact that it can run the air conditioning in my camper. Honestly, folks, I'm really impressed with this unit. I like the app. I'm not even big on Bluetooth apps, but I do like the ease of using this app. Well, there you have it, folks. The Dabbsson DBS2100 Pro for $759 today with their brand day sale. I don't think it can be beat. I really like this unit. So thank you, Dabbsson. They did send it to me for free, so full disclosure. They sent it to me so I could test and play with it, but if you've watched my channel at all, you know that I do my best to be totally honest with you. If I see a problem or something, well, I'm going to call it out. I like this unit. This is the one I'm going to carry with me from now on. So, thank you, Dabbsson, because I'm hooked. Anyway, folks, that's all I've got for you today. But before I go, I want to thank my members. Thank you so much for supporting my channel, supporting me in this endeavor. It keeps me motivated, keeps me producing content. So thank you, thank you, thank you for that. And thank you all for watching today's video. Check that Dabbsson out. That price can't be beat. It won't last forever. So I suggest if you're looking for a power station, you click that link. You can't beat it, folks. And now I'm going to drop another video right here just for you to check out. Thanks for watching, folks. I really appreciate it. Y'all have a great day. The old Jarhead out.